Hey there, y'all. This is Paul Bearcon. I'm gonna do a little quick guide on how to kind of use Sento as you're facing against Kenshi while using Shujinko Cameo. Um, some things you need to know. It takes a bit longer for, I'll get into that later. But it takes two charges for Shujinko to summon Sento as your cameo steal. So you need to have Shujinko fully charged to do this move. Um, in terms of getting him out safely, whereas you don't get punished for calling out this cameo steal, there I'm using Quan as an example. There isn't exactly a best way to do it with Quan that I haven't found quite yet. There is one way, which is like a bit kind of gimmicky, but if you manage to do like your regular D&B, use a crumple, put the EX bone cage out, you have just about enough time to call out the ghost before they recover from the bone cage animation and use an attack. That's kind of like what I would do as your safe Sento summon. This is not foolproof. They can poke you out of this and, punish you, but if they're not ready for it, then yeah, freeze. um, in terms of like sandwiching the opponent, a little bit harder to do with Quan unless you like it. It the thing with this move when you summon it, it takes 85 frames to recover as the actual player. So it takes 85 frames to get out of the summon animation and then block. I think for Sento, when you summon him, it takes 60 frames before you can do an attack with the ghost, right? To get the math right. Well, it's about 60, 19 of 85. Well, yeah, it's about 20 frames less than the frames you recover at to use the ghost attacks. It's kind of like you can see in my input history move. When I summon him, I'm just spamming 2, and he does 2 as soon as he can. You don't have to wait until you recover to do an attack, if that makes sense. So as soon as the ghost comes out, you can input whatever attack you want to do while your main character is coming out of animation so that the ghost can do its attack. So let's just say I'm doing 3, which is the big overhead, not overhead, but like the launcher attack. I'm just going to spam it right here. You see Quan, he's not doing anything, he's still recovering, but the ghost's already ready to do the 3 attack and then ready to go. So that's something to take note of. When you're playing as Kenshi himself, he has less recovery than Quan. I believe it's like 60 frames himself. Like if he summons Sento, he can block at 60 frames roughly, and the ghost can do like an attack like immediately, basically. Like as soon as he comes out, he's just ready to go. So like I'm staring at 2 here, and Kenshi's already recovered by then. So those are some disadvantages of using the Sento steal as Shujinko. You don't get the shorter recovery as Kenshi does. So he's able to block quicker than Quan can, and the ghost is able to attack quicker than what the ghost can for Shujinko. So just keep that in mind when you're doing a setup to get him out. It's probably best to get Sento in the corner against your opponent, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'll do that later. So let me kind of show you some pressure sequences you can do and kind of just a general rule of how to actually use this cameo steal. It's a little bit complex, but once you kind of understand the routes and what you need to do, then it's pretty simple. So let's just do Quan here since I've been doing him the most. Awesome. The string I will use for pressure is 2, 1, 4, and then I'm going to do 2, 1, 4, short skull. This is like my main combo tool with Sento. You can do 1, 2 skull, you can do crispy, you can do that. It doesn't really matter necessarily. You can do 2, 1, 3 as well. This works as well with Sento. But just to give you like a brief example, this is like what a combo would look like when using Shujinko and Sento with Quan. So I kind of hope that combo demonstrated to you the potential of what Shujinko stealing from Kenshi can do. But obviously that's just a combo. And now we're going to talk about pressure sequences and how you can kind of like sandwich your opponent to make an ill-advised guessing game. So I'm going to have Kenshi just go on auto block. And just for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to take him off his... I don't know why he keeps going to random attack. I don't know why it does that, but I'm just going to have him take him off the armor wake up just because I have to kind of show you how this looks like when they're forced to block this, quote unquote forced. So here we go. You get Sento out. You can do 4 attacks. You can do 1, which is a quick high. It kind of keeps them in a juggled state in the air combo. So I'm going to show this. So do something like that. They'll kind of like bounce in the air for a little bit and then kind of do some conversions. Not that scene, except for in the corner, so I wouldn't really use it too much. The one you'll be mainly using is the 2 attack, which is a double hitting in the mid. This is what you see all the time when Kenshi does his sandwich maneuvers and whatnot. This also has a little bit of a juggle property in the air for like certain combos, so it'll kind of like keep them steady. You can kind of do like some crazy stuff. I probably can't do it here. You get the idea. We'll kind of showcase that a little bit later. The 3 attack is mid launcher. He goes out and just charges the opponent. It has some pretty crazy range from like right around here, and it launches the opponent obviously. You can continue your combo afterward. And then there's the 4 attack, which is like 3 hits. It knocks them down. This is what you'll see most Kenshis do when they first summon Sento, to like force you to block with 3 hits, and then they'll do their own pressure sequence. And how that kind of works, I'll have to like actually play as Kenshi for a second. I'm gonna need a different cameo because I can't do Vibrato for some reason. Where is Elder Sub-Zero? What you'll see Kenshi players do is that they'll freeze you, they'll summon Sento, then they'll force you to block that. And when you block the 2 attack from Sento, he has to go on cooldown. Not like he's damage cooldown, like he has to take a knee, but he's on the attack cooldown. You can't keep spamming 2, like I'm pressing 2 right here like all the time. He can't keep doing it. Like he can, but there's a delay, obviously. It's not like the Kenshi player is spamming 2 all the time and they're just the ghosts doing 2. There is a certain delay between when the attack finishes recovering and when he can start attacking again. 3, I think, I could be wrong, I don't know the numbers, but I think all the attacks have the same amount of recovery. I could be wrong about that, so don't quote me. But usually 3 has the longest one. He can't, like, he has to wait until he recovers and then he can stand up and do it again. I believe maybe 4 has the most recovery. The 3-hit attack might have the most. But nonetheless, usually they're around the same time to where you can do one attack and then do the other. So I can't really show it here, but like usually you'll see the sequence be like this. There's a reason why Kenshi players do 2 attacks themselves and then do the 2-hit attack from the ghost, because there's just about enough time from when the ghost does their attack and then they recover. You have to block the. Well, let me just show you this way. 2 hits, 2 hits, 2 hits. You see how there's like very little of a time gap to like break out of this? There's a reason why they do 2 attacks as themselves and then they do 2 attacks as the ghost, instead of doing this where they do like 3 attacks. That's just not very effective. It's kind of a waste of time. So in knowing this information about how Kenshi players use Sento when pressuring you, we can do something similar to our own characters. So for the purpose of this, I'm just going to put them on auto block because you have to find your own knockdown setups to get Sento out safely using Shujinko. I haven't really found many of with Quan. and the one I do have is a little bit gimmicky. You can kind of poke out of it as Kenshi to interrupt that, but that's for a different time. Let me just kind of show you how a pressure sequence looks like with Quan Chi using Sento Shujinko. So let's say we get Kenshi knocked down and we have Sento activated. Let's just say I'm on the other side. You want to hold your cameo button to make sure that the ghost doesn't do any attacks. You see, I'm playing as Quan, I'm doing all the attacks right here. The Kenshi, the ghost is not doing anything as long as I hold the cameo button. If I'm holding block, I can't move as Quan, but the ghost can. You can do forward and backwards movement, you can do his attacks. That's how you kind of get the character to do what you want. So when you're in a sandwich opportunity as your main character, I'm using Quan as an example. I know I said you can use 2 hits with Kenshi, but for this reason, I'm going to use 3 for Quan. And some characters can do this, and some characters can't. But Quan has the privilege of having a lot of multi-hit strings to where the opponent is kind of forced to block or whatnot. So let's say, for example, I have them sandwiched up. I'm going to do 2 and 4. And then I'm going to have the ghost attack afterwards. You see this? This is like what I'm talking about. The ghost is recovering around the same time from his attacks as I'm doing my 2 and 4 string. Now this can work also with 2 and 3, I believe. Well, I gotta get the block first. I'm not even like holding. So what this is like my own muscle memory. I usually hold the Sento attack, the Sento cameo button, so that way he doesn't attack, just in case I mistime it. You don't have to do that if you know a certain timing with a string. Like for example, I'll show you how it looks like when the timing is not at the time is not right. So I'll do 2 and 4, and I'll just press the 2 attack. Like he can do it during the 3rd hit of the string because the timing is not perfect. If that makes sense. So you want the Sento to attack at the end of your string finishing. So that way the opponent has no way to like break out of it. Because if you mistime it, then they can like, you know, get out of it. But you don't want them to do that. You want to time your Sento attack at the end of your string. Even if you do like 1, 2, skull. This is like a block string, basically. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how you wanted to do this. In terms of like a visual medium. Actually doing it is not very hard once you kind of understand how it works. When you summon Sento, as soon as he comes out, you can do an attack. Roughly. It's a little bit different with using Shujinko Sento because there's a little bit of recovery that Shujinko has that Kenshi doesn't when he's using Sento himself. Like, it takes a second for Sento to attack. I'm like pressing 2 immediately as I see him, and it still takes a while. And as such, Quan is still recovering from when he can block and move. Like, I'm gonna hold up. I'm gonna hold up. And it takes about 85 frames for Quan himself to recover and move himself. Conversely, if I'm playing as Kenshi and I summon Sento, I can move up like at 60 frames. So there's about 25 frame difference between when Kenshi can move himself compared to Quan summoning Shujinko. And that's probably just a cameo thing with Shujinko. But you have to keep that in mind when you're trying to set up Shujinko Sento, so that way you don't get punished before you can block and Shujinko Sento can attack. Obviously, if you block an attack, Shujinko Sento will go away. If you do certain special moves, it will go away. Like if I do the tentacle, it'll just go away automatically. If I do bone cage, I don't think he will go away. He can still attack and whatnot. If I do like projectile, it will be fine. Yeah, he'll stay there. So there are certain moves that certain characters that will make Shujinko Sento go away. Now, sorry, I kind of got a little bit off track there, but let me get back to actually executing this stuff. So what I do, and this is just my tactic, I hold down my cameo button to not make the ghost attack, and I do my string. And as I let go, and as the string finishes, I let go of R1, and I press the string, or I press the attack I want Sento to do. So I'll just do an example right here mid-screen. I'm going to do 2, 1, 3, and as I'm holding 3 for, as I'm holding the cameo button while I'm doing the string, I'm going to let go of the cameo button when the string finishes, and I'm going to press 3 as well. So I'll show you what that looks like. Very simple. Very simple. You summon Sento, you hold your cameo button so that way he doesn't attack, otherwise it'll make your combo fuck up. You do your string. As the string finishes, you let go of the cameo button, and then you do the attack you want Sento to do. Very simple. 2, 1, 3, let go, 3. And there's like some grace with this. You can be a little bit late, and it'll still attack. See? Obviously, I was really, really late, but you get the idea. You can do this from other strings too. I can do 2, 1, 4 into Skull, and I'm gonna do a Sento attack. You see that? You can move Sento. Obviously, if you don't press block or R1, he's gonna move as you move. So you don't really want that. You want to control Sento as best you can. Even if I do 2, 1, 4 Skull, as I'm recovering from the string, I can move him. You see how I'm moving him, even though I'm not holding R1 anymore. So I'm gonna hold R1. I'm gonna do my string. And I'm gonna let go of R1, and you can see he's moving. Obviously, as you're pressing your strings, you can't move while you're pressing your string. So I'm holding up, I'm all over the place. Can't do that. I'm doing the string. If you hold R1, obviously Sento is gonna move. But if you let go of R1 as you're doing the string, he can move forward or backward and do whatever he needs to do. So this applies when you're doing something like 2, 1, 4 Skull, and you can have Sento attack as the Skull hits to continue your combo. Mess up there. That was supposed to combo. Sorry. Like that. You see that? You hold the cameo button to make sure Sento doesn't attack. As your string finishes, attack, and then do your thing. Whatnot. And this is working. This can work off multiple strings. You can do back 3, 4. That's very simple, just to keep it very simple. You can do 1, 2 Skull. Do something like that. You can do what other strings does Quan Chi have? Well, not 4, 2, 1, but like you can do back 2, 4 Skull. Then do the same thing. That's kind of what you want to do. And like I showed with the pressure sequences, if you manage to get them blocking, you can do like this. Doesn't really work too well when you have Sento on the same side as you. You want to be in between your opponent, so that way they can't just jump backward and, you know, get away. You want to sandwich them. But it's, like I said, that's character dependent. You can't always sandwich them with one, so you have to like find this out for yourself. I messed it up there, but you kind of get the idea of what it looks like. And you, obviously, you don't have to keep using that string. You can do other strings. You can do back 3, get hit. Sorry. You can do like back 3, 4. This is very simple. 2 hits, and your main character, do 1 attack, and your character, goes. Like you can just chip them out if you want to. If they manage to like go and get hit, then you get a combo. So to kind of conclude, well, I guess, well, I won't show you my attempts and fails at doing combos with Shujinko. It's really hard to kind of like, not hard, but it's like a little bit difficult to like do certain characters. I'm still trying to find those stuff. The characters I play. Actually, well, I think I know. 1, 3, 4 Skull, and then you can do something like that. If you want to do a Shujinko Sento combo, you can do something like that. Like you can do 1, 3, stand 4 straight Skull, hold the cameo button as you're doing this. Like after you summon him, hold the cameo button, that way he doesn't attack. After the Skull hits off of stand 4, you just do a 3 attack, it'll pop him up in the air, then you can do whatever else. Actually, yeah, that's actually a better result. So 1-3, 4 skull. He didn't attack. Someone on it. That works, trust me. There. Very simple combo, 37%, no bars wasted or anything. Obviously, you can extend that if you want. But that's basically what a Shujinko Sento combo looks like. I did show an earlier one that had like almost close to 50%. That's a little bit more specific, but that's what it looks like. I'll show you a quick little corner sequence. Okay, whatever. I know I have a combo video recorded of it anyway. I don't know if I do it live, so I can include that in this clip. But that's kind of how you use Shujinko Sento with your character. I'm just using one as an example, but there's other ways you can do this with other characters. So, I hope this helps, and if you have any questions, just let me know.